Ticky Reardon with the double already this afternoon. They're right. Racing, Shawler was the first to jump from toward the inside, won the start comfortably. Reardon said Universal Impact, the roughie up looking for the lead. Fifth Essence comes across with Odenaka prominent. Behind them, Candlelight Supper, Simply Thinking, and also the favourite Westbound. Three deep momentarily, and off and around them very quickly, El Giro Del Mondo. It wants to find the breeze going into the back. Further back behind them, Black for Cash and For Your Eyes. Fifth Essence went to the lead soon after the start. It's Fifth Essence by a half a length. El Giro Del Mondo trying to get around the outside of Universal Impact. It wouldn't allow it very easily. It eventually got there. Shawler running fourth, a length and a half Odenaka, the same margin Candlelight Supper. There followed after three quarters Simply Thinking, then came For Your Eyes. He had to take hold of Westbound and dropped it out second from last, and the tail ender Black for Cash. Down the riverside they come. 900 left to go. Fifth Essence with the neck arched, trying to get a little breather. Out by a length El Giro Del Mondo. Shawler third. Universal Impact is in behind them, running fourth, the roughie. A length and a half Odenaka, who appeared to be travelling beautifully on the outside. In fact, he takes off now. He's off and around them, three wide. Candlelight Supper has to bide its time back near the inside. Simply Thinking's on the move as well, and Westbound is starting to work into it. Back on the inside to For Your Eyes, and still last is Black for Cash. They're homeward bound. Inside the 400, the baldy faced Chestnut. Fifth Essence, the leader at the top of the straight. El Giro Del Mondo second. Odenaka runs on, Simply Thinking, and now being called upon, given its cue. Westbound, Black for Cash further back. Fifth Essence the leader. Simply Thinking cuts it down. Westbound taking a long time to get there. Simply Thinking now. Westbound in 2 bounds. Westbound hits the lead. Westbound, the favourite, got up from Simply Thinking. Fifth Essence third home. Black for Cash fourth, and then Odenaka. In behind them, Shawler. They were followed further back. Candlelight Supper, For Your Eyes, then El Giro Del Mondo, and the bolters run last, Universal Impact. It took some riding, it took a lot of riding, Westbound, but in the final couple of bounds has picked off Simply Thinking to take out the Thank You Craig Staples handicap. Brad Parnham lifting it to victory over the top of Simply Thinking. Fifth Essence holds third, and Black for Cash runs on from the back to fill fourth placing. Back to back for Westbound, the Toronado Western Dual 3-year-old for Peters Investments, trained by Michael Grantham, and takes out the fifth event of the day in grinding style. They've run 1:55.9, and he gets there by half a length. Simply Thinking second by So You Think from Simply Irresistible, Clint Johnston Porter for Adam Durant, and third going to 3, Fifth Essence by Patronise out of Quintessence in the yard of Brett Pope and handled by Holly Nottle. 6-2, 3-4, the numbers after the running of the fifth in honour of Craig Staples. Well done, Bullet. 35.23 the last 600 metres. Race 6 today, the Mitch Wake 30th birthday handicap, and we extend our best wishes to Mitch on celebrating his 30th. 1,000 metres the journey at 2:45, and 11 Solar Chant is the scratching. Lockie Taylor joins us down now in the winner's enclosure. It took some riding from Brad Parnham to get there as he stepped to the 1800. He needed the length of the straight to eventually haul them in, but he showed his class, his quality, and he put a stamp on things very late.
He did, Darren. Thank you very much. An outstanding victory from Westbound, not because of the fact that he was at $1.30 or $1.40, but as you mentioned, he really needed to dig deep when it mattered most. As winning owner-breeder Bob Peters joins me now. Bob, not exactly the ideal watch for a horse that went around at the prohibitive price that he did, but nice to see him really crunch down and make the most of it when it mattered most.
Yes, he's done that both the last start and this one. That was last start, he was 3 wide all the way, and it looked like in a small field he was still going to be 3 wide, but Brad was patient and pulled him back, and it was a very patient, good ride, really.
To the horse's credit, it's never easy to go 1,400 up to 1,800 metres and get the job done, but he looks like he'll only improve as he continues to stretch out.
No, I think 1,800 is a good distance for him, the way he's bred, and it's nice to see that he can do it.
Do you have any long-term plans for him, or is it a matter of just focusing on this campaign and just allowing him to go through the grades?
Well, it's just the grades at the moment and then see what happens.
When I interviewed you on Wednesday afternoon, you said Nikiana was the horse you're really looking forward to. How's he been throughout the week?
He's been good, but there's a very short price favourite in the race that's obviously very good.
Exactly right. Good luck for the remainder of the day and well done here.
Yeah, thank you.
There's Bob Peters. Him and Michael Grantham are enjoying a good run of things at the moment, and Westbound gets the job done here. He looked like he was in a tricky spot at around the 800 metre mark when he was back second last, Scotty, but I suppose the sliding doors moment was when Sean McGrady said we need to get going aboard Odinaka, and that just allowed Brad Parnham to have that beautiful toe into the race. But credit where credit's due, he still needed to dig deep at the 100 metre mark.
He did too, Lockie, and he was 1400 to 1800 for the first time. So he's a 3-year-old you can continue to follow over a bit of ground, but he had to pull out all the stops there to get the job done. In the end, he looked like he was going to be 3 deep cover, but when El Giro del Mondo whipped around them very early in the race, he was caught 3 deep. So the option was to park out there and or go back another pair and find a bit of cover, and in the end, all's well that ends well at $1.35. But Brad Parnham is about to join us and give us the lowdown on Westbound. First thoughts on this galloper?
Yeah, he's a nice horse. He's obviously young and he's still got a lot more racing to do, but yeah, he feels like a horse who's going places.
Coming into the race, it looked a tricky barrier on paper.
It was, and you know, I sort of jumped out and sort of looked for a midfield spot, and it just wasn't going to happen without me being caught 3 deep, no cover. So the pace actually, probably from the 1600 or the 1500 to the 1000 or so, it actually increased a bit. So I wasn't scared to just come back and follow Adam's horse there. I knew he'd be a handy one to follow anyway. So, you know, probably just got back a touch further than where I would have wanted, but that's sort of what the gate sort of had me do. And yeah, Michael did say one thing to me this morning, that just trust that the horse has got a good enough engine to get over the top of him, and that's what I did, and he was.
He's a good judge, Michael Grantham. He stepped his horse to 1800 metres today. If you were to give him some feedback, could he get further in time?
I think he could, but in saying that, I mean, he got this trip very well. So I do think probably really anywhere from a mile to, I think he would get further, like say 2000 or possibly further again, but he ran through the line very nicely then, so yeah, he's a horse on the way up.
Hot and High later on, another one that you picked up today that looks hard to beat.
Yes, obviously another young horse that's shown a fair bit of talent, so yeah, look, I'll ride him pretty confidently, and Dion's happy with the horse, so yeah, look, hopefully things go right for me and we can come away with a double.
One more while we've got you. The 2-year-old was a nice debut.
Yeah, I actually really like that horse, and he came up against some horses that had a fair bit of race experience, and obviously the winner of that race has raced against the best, so I wasn't surprised to get beat by that horse, but I do think my horse has at least got another 2 or 3 lengths to improve once he figures things out.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
There's Brad Parnham. He combines with Michael Grantham and Westbound to make it back-to-back wins in taking out race 5 at Ascot on Racing WA TV. We'll take a short break, and on the other side, we'll be back to preview race 2 at Port Hedland.